Well, hello, friends. I hope you've been watching Trump's impeachment trial because today I think was a very important day. Now, in recent memory, I would say there's been four significant events in American history, say in the 20th and 21st century. So you have the attack on Pearl Harbor by enemies, foreign enemies, which put us into World War II. Then you have when we landed on the moon in 1969, when America was really almost at a pinnacle of success, our science, we were leaders in the world. And then we had 9/11 in 2001. And here again, we were attacked by a foreign enemy. And then again, January the 6th, 2021, a day that will live in infamy. But this time we weren't attacked by enemies, we were attacked from within. And if you were watching the impeachment trial, there was something who I think is a breakout star on the Democratic side, Stacey Plaskett, an African American woman. And she brought up something today that I hope you heard. This was very significant. She talked about that this year it'll be the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And she talked about the heroes in the flight, on Flight 93, and their famous "Let's Roll." And that plane was headed for the Capitol. And those true heroes and patriots stopped that plane. And yes, they crashed in Pennsylvania and all of them lost their lives. But that plane, because of their actions, was stopped and the Capitol was saved. And now, 20 years later, American citizens, and I don't even call them American citizens anymore. I think they should be stripped. I think they're just Americans in name only because they were born here. I think we need to build a prison in Nevada, and all the people that stormed the Capitol need to be given life sentences. You know, we used to give people back in the 80s and 90s a life sentence for having a crack rock the size of a BB. These people, these Capitol insurrectionists, need to be put in a prison in Las Vegas or outside of Las Vegas in Nevada in the desert and forgotten about. That's what I would do if I had the power. But she talked about those people that died on 9/11 to save the Capitol. And one of the things that I think is really funny, and I wish they would bring it up, but I know they're not going to because, you know, as much as Trump is guilty, there's only certain lines that they'll cross. But one line that I think that I would cross if I was up there talking is this thing called superior orders. Now, if you've never heard of superior orders, this was a defense that Nazi officers used during the Nuremberg trials, where they stated that, oh yes, we disagreed that we were killing Jews and throwing them in, gas chambers, but we were officers and we had superior orders that we had to listen to our commanding officers. And I think it's funny how all of these Trump supporters now are saying, well, the president told us to do this. It was his instructions. He told us to do this. And this is how you know that they're fascists, because they're using a fascist defense. It's the same defense that the Nazis used. And I think that the Nazis, in history, Nazis have always been like the pinnacle of evil. But I think that that's a really good comparison here, because it is a fascist defense. We were following orders. We did horrible things, but we're patriots. We're Americans. And another thing that I think is so hypocritical of these piece of shit cowards that call themselves patriots, these oath keepers, garbage, the Proud Boys, garbage. These people are garbage. They're not Americans. They're traitors. They should be, talk about sedition, they should be freaking hung. Or at least put in that freaking prison out in the desert and left to rot. But these people got so angry because Colin Kaepernick kneeled, and yet during the Capitol riots, they used an American flag on a pole as a weapon. They used it to break windows. They used it to stab police officers, who these hypocrites are always bitching about Blue Lives Matter. And then today in the footage they were showing, they were calling the Capitol police officers traitors, pigs, fuck them, kill them. These people are hypocrites. They are the worst possible human beings. They all deserve life sentences and deserve to rot in prison forever. You know, if this was back during more medieval times, they would all be tortured on the rack, had their heads chopped off. Have you seen that movie, Mel Gibson, William Wallace? What happened to William Wallace in that movie was what happened to sedition against the crown. Drawn and quartered, cut into 4 pieces, and your pieces sent off throughout the ends of the empire as a warning to anybody else. That's what should happen to each of you, but we are more civilized people now. You are not patriots, the oath keepers, and the thing that I think is so funny, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, all of these military militia bullshit groups, all of these QAnon, all of these MAGAs, they wrap themselves in the American flag and hide behind the Bible. You people, and I am, as an atheist, I'm so glad you're doing this. You want to know why Christianity is dying in this country with the younger people? It's because of you. And I want you to think about this. When all of you old bastards die and your bones are turning to dust in your caskets, in 50 years, religion in America will disappear. Once all you old bastards die, once the boomer generation is gone, religion is gone. And this is your legacy. This will be your legacy. You have Trump has single-handedly destroyed the Republican Party. I think with changing demographics and because of what Trump did and what the American people have seen, I vote. I have children. I'm raising all of my children to despise Republicans. I teach this to them. I show them this. I put it in context for it so it doesn't scare them. But I tell them, this is the Republican Party. These are the people that want to harm you with their laws and their actions. You are hated. You know, I don't want to hear nothing else about Blue Lives Matter from you hypocrites after what you did to the Capitol police officers. I don't want to hear nothing else about Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem because of the way you used a flag as a weapon and broke windows, you hypocrite pieces of shit. I don't want to hear anything about patriots. When the real patriots died on United Flight 93 to stop that plane from hitting the Capitol building, and you people, in your disgusting behavior, trying to subvert democracy because your guy didn't win. Your guy didn't win. You know, when Hillary didn't win, sure, people went out in the streets and it's like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. But that was it. You have a right to protest. What you did at the Capitol, that's not protesting. That is treason and that's sedition. And all of you people can wrap yourselves in the flags and you can call yourself patriots and you can hide behind your Bible, but everybody sees how transparent you are. You're a bunch of hypocrites. Because of you, the Republican Party and religion will die. And maybe in your own lifetime you'll see it. But it will. It will. Maybe once we're gone, 20, 50 years from now, people will look back on this and go, that's when we got rid. That was our dark time. That was our dark ages. And now we learned and we entered the age of enlightenment where science and reasoning and critical thinking are the leaders of the pack, and all of you will be forgotten and will be dust and just will be footnotes in the margins of history. You will be remembered the same way ISIS is, about how you tried to start your Trump caliphate and were destroyed and rotted in prison for the rest of your lives. Trump may not be convicted because there's a lot of coward-ass congresspeople and senators, Hawley, Cruz. But I promise you, I live in Texas. I'm registered to vote. In every election, I will vote straight Democrat. I will always vote for the rest of my life against Republicans. I will do, if Beto O'Rourke decides to run for governor, I will vote for him. And anyone that runs against Ted Cruz, I will vote for him. Because you Republicans, you maggots, you QAnon, cultist, conspiracy idiots, I will do whatever I can, whatever is within my power, to destroy you all. Legally, unlike you, who threaten. I'm not making threats, I'm making promises. We will vote and I will tell everybody, and that's why I make these videos. If this video gets 10 views or it gets 10 million views, maybe I'll get to one person that'll open their eyes and they'll register to vote and they'll vote against you Republicans. And we will erase you from history. And that will be the end of you forever. Thank you.